We like froze for a second. Hi.
Okay. Hello. Hello, everyone. So, if you don't know who we are, let me introduce ourselves. My name is Tiffany Marie. I am your sexual health coach. You guys have probably seen me on social media talking about the size of a man's schlong based off of how much weight he loses or how many orgasms you need to have. But next to me, in this little box over here, is Miss J. J, tell us who you are.
I'm Jay. I'm your um clinical mental health counselor. Almost. So she brings almost just a month away. Yes. She brings the sexual side of things and I bring the mental side of things and we connect it.
Together. Put it
We
together.
put it together.
Because your coochie is connected to your mind.
Or your schlong is connected to your schlong.
Some people just think with their schlongs instead of everything else. All right.
Apparently.
So far, we've done a couple of episodes where we've talked about ED, erectile dysfunction for men. We've talked about women's orgasms. And our last episode, which was our Valentine special, we talked in regards to communication and why communication is so important in relationships, but also as a single person, too. So if you guys don't know, I'm the single one in the group. And
I
Jay is the married one, happily married. So we are going to bring you both perspectives from single life to married life. We both have been married before. We both have gone through divorces. We both have kids, and we both have all boys.
yes.
I
About that.
know. Why didn't we get a girl in the mix? We're gonna have to adopt a kid. Oh wait, we did. We got puppies.
There you go. We have female puppies.
So today, I kind of thought a good topic to be would be I don't know what's the right way to say it, but like body
And
imaging, kind of like how you feel about your body and how would that affect your mental, but also how does that affect your bedroom life, right? So, let's just, I don't know, we'll just kick it off. So body imaging can be a variety. You would think, and I've had people say this before, that they would think the most skinniest woman in the world who's so beautiful would have such high security and be more confident, and they actually are not. I would say that I personally think for women in our society with like magazines and newspaper articles that it's constantly always about how do we look, what does our image look like? Do we have big boobs? Do we have a big butt? Do we have a small waist? And I think that plays a lot into a lot of women because not all of us look the same, right? We all look completely different. And
mhm.
so I think that in society, we're told that we have to look a certain way in order to get anywhere or to have confidence. And I have seen some of the biggest women have the most confidence out of anybody. And I have
That's what I
seen
was
this
just
yeah, the smallest girls have so many insecurities, and you would think that it would totally be the opposite, but it's not. I think all of us I think every single woman has insecurities. Would you say
mm,
so?
yeah.
Yeah. I think I
Positive.
go through
Men do men do too. And I don't I feel like theirs is more like physical things on their body where women we just beat ourselves up from head to toe.
Yeah.
So guys can be self-conscious about, their shalong, but they could also be self-conscious about their arms, and that's why they work out or their chest being a certain way where, they I, I I feel like a lot of times, in the mental health side of it, um, like you said, a really skinny woman could have body dysmorphia which leads to all those, eating disorders and stuff like that because they don't see what you see. So you could look at someone and be like, "Oh my gosh, I want her body. Like it's perfect."
Right.
And she
Right.
looks at herself in a mirror and says, "I'm fat. Oh my god, look at this. I can pinch a little tiny piece of my belly. I'm fat. I'm fat." And she's starving herself or she's eating and throwing up or she's binging. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
when
I mean, not that that doesn't happen to men, but I feel
Mhm.
like this is more impacted by like specific physical attributes.
Yeah, because like, I know a lot of bodybuilders that have body dysmorphia, where they work out and they look great, but when they look in the mirror, they see something completely different that nobody sees. So I think it falls on both of us. I wish I could just pinch a little bit of fat and be like, "That's all I got." I'm like, I got like a heart.
And I got your others.
Yeah, we'll connect it together. Um, but when it comes to, I think, with body imaging, I would say the biggest thing is if there's stuff that people don't like about themselves, it's gonna affect their mental. And it also affects sexual. Because how many times us as women, right, we're in the bedroom, and I actually tell my clients this all the time. I'm like, how many times do you guys go to the lingerie store? Go find this outfit, you put it on, you're like, damn, I look good in this. And then you get home and you're like, turn the lights off. Don't look. Let me just jump into bed and you can feel it. Like, that's not what your partner wants to see. They want to see the whole thing. And I try telling women all the time when you guys buy lingerie, you're buying lingerie for yourself, not for your partner. This is what makes you feel sexy and makes you feel confident so that you can kind of bring out that inner
But
kitty
not
cat,
yeah,
right, in the bedroom.
open up and
And
let yourself
so
go. Mhm.
correct, and I have a lot of women that are like, "Oh, I'm too big." And I'm like, no." Like, you can get lingerie up to a 4 or 5X, and lingerie can be anything that you want it to be, right? So, I think a lot of times when it comes to the bedroom, we get a little bit nervous. Now, I'll say I, for the longest time, hated being on top because I always felt like my male partners were staring at my love handles or my boobies may sag a little bit because they're natural and they're very big and they're mom boobs, right? Because I fed a child on these only for 3 months, but I still did. And so I always had that, like, how do you hide when you're in this position? And you can't you can't do that. And so I always had that imaging problem, and then I think as I got older, I kinda fell in love with my boobs, and I fell in love with my shape, and I was just like, "Fuck it." I mean, if you're having sex with me, you gotta have some kind of attraction to me, so we're just gonna let let 'em flop around. I don't know. I think everybody has that in the bedroom. Like, is he looking? I think the funniest one I hear is women that are like, "Well, we're in doggy style. He looks at my butthole."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yes." And he's probably gonna, he's probably gonna try and touch it. But I'm like, "You can't think of that. You need to be in the
Yeah,
motion and get out of your head." And that's
yeah.
where I think a lot of women suffer with body dysmorphia or not loving themselves that they get in their head so much during sex and
Mhm.
make it worse.
Yeah, we talked about that, like, during the big O,
Mhm.
uh, just being able to relax and let stuff go. Otherwise, you're gonna sit
That's
there
it.
and you're not gonna be able to let yourself enjoy any of it, and then it's gonna be coming, then you're not gonna wanna even
Mhm.
do it, So, um
So we talked about like mental, right? With women, but what about with men? When it comes to mental on men with body imaging, you know how like you have anorexia, a lot of women will want to throw up food or starve themselves. Do you think that you would see that a lot in men too?
yeah, the percentage rate is not as high with men, but it's still there. They look down at their belly, obviously, when they're, doing
Uh-huh.
stuff. So, that kinda will beat them up, but it doesn't have to be something specific. I mean, just like you said, you've seen women, even the biggest women, just be like, "I am proud, and I don't," get up there and ride it like a cowboy and, like, not even care, and guys some of the biggest guys are, like, cocky in that way, and cocky in a good way, obviously, but, I think a lot of it comes from the damage that other people have done to us. Right, and you mentioned society and the culture and the beauty standards and all of that stuff, but I mean, you could be this perfect person and a guy say, "I really like this about, women. I've been more attracted to women like this." Or in the dating scene, you see, you go out for a month, you end up having sex maybe too soon, and then he's ghosting you the next minute, and we immediately internalize it. I'm not thin enough. I didn't have big enough boobs. I didn't have small enough boobs. I didn't have this perfect body. So
Right.
this is why he's not calling me back because of me. It must be me. So Love is Blind is hot topic right now, right? We're going to talk about this because this just happened on the last episode on Wednesday, where the guy Chris told Jess, who's like this, she's beautiful. She has a bit of a belly. She's an internal med doctor, and when I say a little bit of a belly, like it's just like she was sitting in her bathing suit and like just a little bit of pudginess.
Huh.
It's not ripped, right?
Right, right.
But she's not like you wouldn't look at her and be like, "Damn, you need to lose weight," or you need to get fit." Like you would not think of that at all. And he was completely fine with her until he started doing this comparison game and comparing her to the girl that he would have, would have been second choice or whatnot. And not that the girls aren't sitting there already doing the comparison game of like, shit, like who is my competition? Who was my man talking to in there? Whatever. Anyways, flash forward to a week later and he's like, I need a break. And he takes off for the night and then he comes back and, she comes in and she's like, what's going on? And he's like, you're just not my typical type. I am used to dating women who go to Pilates and yoga and like are always at the gym, like taking care of themselves. And she's like, I'm a freaking doctor. Number one, like I don't have time all the time to go do all of that. But what difference does it make? Are you trying to say I'm fat? He's like, well, you're just not like my typical type. There's nothing wrong with her. And so I think it's important that, we're not always going to be somebody's attraction. She's a
Mhm.
beautiful woman. There's nothing wrong with her other than a little bit of pudge and she doesn't go to the gym. Like, and her little bit of pudge could be like some guys like, oh, I love that. I love that she's got
Right.
hips and something for me to hang on to. The
Yeah, 'cause
guys who
she's
don't,
not big. That girl wasn't big
no,
at all. She's a small size.
she's small and she's very short.
Yeah.
So like, what the fuck? And then everyone's calling him like a freaking like elf on the shelf because he's no pride. So I think that, society can really screw with us or a guy or a girl tearing us down. If a girl is constantly telling her man that, his belly is big or, she wish she went to the gym and then they break up, he's immediately going to take that into the next relationship. And I think it's
Well,
really important
think
that you
about it. How
don't.
many of those videos do you see where it's like my heart, it's like an image of the person and it's like my heart got broken and then you see him fit
Yep.
because they internalize it. And
Yeah.
I think there's a way of going about it to talking with your partner about so there's a difference. Okay, so Love is Blind, I love the show, right? I think it's a great show. It's a great reality show. I think it's stupid
It is.
because at the end of the day, love is not blind. You have to have a sexual attraction to somebody. Yes,
Yeah.
you guys might be in like the pods where you can't see each other and you guys are talking like that and you can build a love for someone just like having a pen pal, right? Or a text messaging buddy. But you need that sexual attraction to connect it all. And you have to have that. And if that's not his type, like I get it. Okay, they're going to run him through the mud and they're going to make him out to be the worst guy. But he was being honest. And at least he was being honest and didn't marry her and then later on be like, "You're not who I internalize." And that just shows me that one, he's at least trying to be upfront about it, right? And trying to be. He might not have communicated the right way. And at
Really
the
not. Yeah.
no, we don't say stuff like that. But also too, he's never dated a woman of that high caliber in a career that doesn't have that kind of bullshit time to go. Like I work with physicians that are moms, that are ICU critical care doctors that work out maybe like 3 times a week if that, and sometimes it's not even weekly. It's like every other week. You know what I mean? So I think he's never dated a high caliber woman that's had an actual successful career.
Yeah,
Probably
and
still believes
people
that.
have been saying that too about him, that
Mhm,
he's kind of a loser, he's in debt,
mhm,
like, the people who know him in his normal
yeah,
life are, like, speaking up, like, he has no room. He's probably intimidated by this doctor, this
correct,
chick that has her shit together.
right, and the sucky part is she's gonna probably take that and internalize that, and I guarantee on the reunion, she's gonna be fucking tiny. She's
Even
gonna
tinier,
have
because there's nothing wrong with her, like I
yeah.
said, it's, like, just barely a little bit of pudge, but
Well, think
it's
about it. Remember my ex? The one that I should have never been with, that one? 2.5 years, never told me I was pretty. He could never tell me I was beautiful. He could never tell me anything, but yet would have all these different type of women that he would like on social media and give compliments to other women. There was a lot in that relationship, but that was just a part of some of the stuff, you know? And so I internalized that when we finally split. It took a while for me to kind of break out of that and go, okay, I'm a good looking woman. Like fuck you. You know, it took a while to break that mentality that that person had kinda put on me and made me feel
Yeah.
like I was nothing,
Yeah.
you know? So, I think the hard part is us not internalizing it, but also learning how to communicate, right? So, what would be your advice for a guy in that situation that, let's say, same situation, right? He met the girl, they started talking online, he saw pictures, and then he met her, but she's just not physically his type. What would be a good starting communication to be like, "Hey, you're not my type." How would you advise somebody to kinda, like, address that?
Yeah, and it's really different between because I feel like everybody can hide behind their computers now to where they can just ghost them. But I think if it's important to kind of keep empathy for that person and hold a space for them to just care enough about them. Like you cared enough to approach the situation, to go to coffee with them or go to the bar, have a drink with them, whatever you decided to do with
Right.
them. I think it's important for you to still hold space for them to explain to them, like, hey, I had a great time with you. I personally don't feel a connection here. And you don't have to make it physical. You don't have to be rude. You can say, I personally don't feel a connection here. I just wanted to be respectful and let you know. And she could totally be like, you're a dick or whatever, but at least he did the right thing and the right words. And women need to do the same thing,
Yeah.
instead of just not responding. It is very easy to do that, but it's very cowardly and you're going to hurt somebody even when you don't intend to.
Correct. So I'm a big person, like, when I meet somebody for the first time, I normally do coffee date. And it's kind of like some of the people I've been talking to lately, because you guys know I'm in the dating field again. But I like to do coffee first, and because you can kinda see how that vibe is in person. Like, yeah, we have great communication on the phone or text messaging, but I wanna actually see how we are in front of each other. Is it gonna be quiet? Are you gonna be nervous? And so right off the first bat, it's an hour, either a coffee or a drink, and if I'm sitting with them and I can already tell, like, I know it's weird to say, but I look at my partner and kinda go, "Would I sit on his face?" That's how I distinguish it, right? Would I sit on this man's face,
Yeah.
right? If
Yeah.
I'm answering no, then it's not for me.
Right.
Yes, he could probably be the sweetest person. He could probably have the best job in the world. He would probably be the perfect person for me. But if I don't have that sexual attraction to him, it's not going to work.
Right. And
And
that's
there's
just Tiffany. And it depends on the type of person that you are and where you are in your life, right? When I was dating, I was like, who's going to be cool with my kids? I have three boys, full custody. They're with me every day. It's not like I'm rotating stuff and they're gone on a weekend. You know what I mean? Like I needed to know that whoever I was dating would be potentially long term good with my kids.
correct. But sexually, you would also have to have a
Yeah, obviously, but I also feel like you wouldn't know until you're in it too. Like that
yeah,
chemistry needs to be there to where you're like, ooh, I feel that. He obviously felt that from the first kiss with my husband, but I was like, oh my gosh. And like I knew just from the kiss it was going to be good.
right.
But you could be in that relationship and sex is I mean, you
Yeah,
you you
it's not
sell sex
everything.
toys and all that stuff. It it can build and grow. So even if you have sex for the first time and it's like, "Oh, this was okay," you know that you guys can build off of it, trust each other more, and it can be amazing. So but that chemistry has to be there. You have to feel that,
Yeah.
which is why is love truly blind? No, you're making that connection. But the minute you guys see each other and you see him and you're like, shit. And you can see it on those girls' faces too.
Yeah, when you watch, like, the reveal, they're like, "Mm, mhm,
You're like,
hi." you. Let me bring
fake,
you ice
like,
cream.
kiss.
I wanna see somebody be like, "Damn, you ugly. You are not what I was expecting." Like, why
Yeah.
can't we get the realness there? I know it's a TV show, but
Yeah.
I but also too, like, yes, I do look for a partner that has those, right? Because my son's gonna live with me for life with his,
Yeah.
autism and stuff like that. But that's not something I look for right away. I mean, I'm looking for those connections, but sexually wise, am I attracted to the person as a
Yeah.
person? It's
That can
not gonna grow because he treats my kid good.
yeah. Oh, yeah,
You
1,000%.
know what I mean? Like that.
That initial chemistry has to
Yeah.
be there.
So I would definitely say,
Besides
like,
that, just I don't know.
I would say initially meeting somebody, if it's not you don't find that attraction, then end it immediately. Don't
Yeah,
continue it on because
but
there's
don't
yeah,
ghost, right?
don't
Respectful.
go. I fucking hate ghosting. Even women do it all the time, and
Yeah.
it takes 2 seconds to send a text message and be like, "Hey," and I've actually done this where I'm like, "Hey, I appreciate your time. I just don't feel like our vibe is on the same thing. I wish you nothing but the best." Done. Block the number.
Yeah. Yep.
You know? Now, let's go into a scenario like the TV show, right? You've been dating the person for a little bit. Let's say maybe they've put on some weight, right? So, a male working a lot, stressed, put on a little bit of weight. A female maybe had a baby and it's been over 2 years now and the weight is still there. How would you approach it with your partner on their appearance?
Mhm.
What would you say?
I would come from a place of concern for them more than, "This is about me, and this is like, I want you to look good for me," because there are guys out there like that, and I haven't met a woman like that, but it doesn't mean that it's not out there, where they're going to tear that person down and create body image issues because of what they say. So if you come at them with a place of from a place of concern, to say, I'm worried about you. You have been, not taking care of yourself. Are you okay? Is there depression been going on? Are you feeling unmotivated? Can I do something to help? Because I want you to feel good about you. It's not about me, but I want you to feel good about you. You know, they still may take it the wrong way, but at least you're coming from that place of concern. You could also encourage them to work out. I'm going to get a gym membership. I'll pay for yours so we can go together. Can we work out together? Things like that. But I feel like you should be in a relationship already with somebody who values the same things you do, right? Most of the time, you see people who are gym rats with other gym rats. You're not going to see. You're rarely going to see this woman who's just body confident and overweight, for lack of a better word, with this gym rat. You're just not going to see it. And if you do see it, it's a booty call and no one's knowing about it.
Right.
But if you see 2 kind of overweight people and they love going out to eat and that's what they do, then you're not gonna have that conflict because they're both taking care of their bodies the same way. So I think that, if you're both physically active and you have taken care of your body and you know that this is the relationship that I went into, flash forward 5 years later, we've got 2 kids and, the guy put on weight. Let's flip the script for a
Yeah.
second. But the girl is still going to the gym. There's something wrong there. So for her to be like, hey, honey, like, I noticed that you're drinking a lot and, you're just not really wanting to go to the gym anymore. Like, what's going on? Because it's probably something mental. It's probably like there's some depression there, there's some anxiety there, and it could be caused by their own body image. I'm already fat and I don't want him to touch me already.
Right.
The thinner you get, and not even thinner, but the more comfortable you get with your body to where you feel confident, you're going to want to have sex. You're going to want to be close to your partner. You're going to want to go to the gym. You're going to want to go out and
Mhm.
put on
Yeah.
cute clothes and stuff like that. If you're not feeling good about yourself,
Correct.
your partner should be trying to build you up. And there's things to look for too, either skinny or chubby or overweight or whatever. You should be looking at your partner. Are they throwing up their food? Are they not eating? Are they binging and like eating everything? Because that's a disorder as well. And then binge eating and puking, obviously, that's a disorder as well. So pay attention to your partner. Do they have any of those? Are they overeating to an extent of
Yeah.
they are not only gaining weight, but it's completely unhealthy? You can approach them from that perspective and say, I'm really worried about you, you know?
No, I like that.
So,
That's 100%. But
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. I don't really see, like people that have hobbies, you kind of want to do the same hobbies. So I'm a big believer in you should have separate hobbies from your partner. You guys shouldn't have the same hobbies on everything.
Right.
I love riding motorcycles, right? And everybody's like, oh, you're going to find a guy that rides motorcycles. No, not really. Because it's okay if he doesn't ride motorcycles. I do. I have friends that ride motorcycles. I'll go with my friends. Like I have a ton of girlfriends that I ride with. So it's okay that he doesn't ride, you know? But when it comes to a lifestyle of healthiness, I think that's a big important thing to me is eating correctly. Are we eating correctly? Are we taking care of ourselves? Yeah, I can go and have a drink. Yeah, I could eat fucking shitty ass food, but I'm still in the gym,
Yeah.
which kind of counteracts when
I
you eat
mean,
shitty.
like that every day, right? Like you're
Right.
like, yeah. We went away for the weekend and we had a bunch of amazing food and now we got to jump
Right.
back on
Yeah.
eating
So I
normal.
think the big thing is keeping that healthy lifestyle together and communicating about it. And I hear a lot of male clients will come to me and be like, I'm not attracted to my wife anymore. And I ask, why? What is the first thing that you're not attracted to your wife anymore? And it's like, well, she's put on weight since we started a family. We've been together 15 years and she just hasn't taken care of herself. And the first thing I always come back to the guy is go, okay, well, how many kids did you guys have?
Yeah.
Does she get time to do things by herself? Or is she always in mom mode? I'm like, I don't think men and women are so different with how their brains think, right? Whereas women are always some women, I'm not going to say all because there are shitty ass mothers out there, but most women are all about the family and making sure that the kids are taken care of and their partner's taken care of. And they would put everybody else first before they put themselves first, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I try to tell them, like, have you offered to go to the gym with her? Be like, hey, let's go work out together. Let's make this our date. And I
Yeah.
try telling people that I'm like, working out together can be a date.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't like working out with anybody. I'm weird because I
I
like
don't
to
like
do my own
tell my
thing.
husband because he's mean, and I've said that before. And
Wait,
I'm more like, I want like group fitness, like group Pilates, group yoga. I want that or a strength class. And he's like, I just want to go to the gym. And then, yeah, he's
lift
like,
it out. Me,
go over there and grab that machine. Hurry before anybody else. And I'm like, ah, I'm like, well,
right?
okay. I get over there and he's like, not that machine, the other machine. I'm like, I'm not working out with you anymore. I'm not doing it.
See, Brian and I can work out because we both work out the exact same way.
See, and so you can work out with a buddy
I
who's
don't
on
want a
the
buddy.
same wavelength. I
No,
ain't
but
working it out.
when you get people that are like, "Your form's wrong," and I look at them and I'm like, "You're fat too. Your form's wrong as well." Shit. I just
Yeah.
like putting music in and being able just to it relaxes me to tune out people.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even hear people that are trying to talk to me next to me. I'll have to take my what? I'm sorry.
Yeah, same.
'Cause I'm in a zone, like, I swear that's why I probably don't get picked up on at the gym because I got, like, that fuck off face.
Yeah.
Don't
Oh, I
fucking come
totally
over
would.
here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I think going to the gym is a great day date or a night date, right? But I think it's a great time as partners, even if you guys don't do it every day or you do it a couple times, going to the gym with your partner and kind of like being flirty from across the room. You don't have to work out with each other, but flirting, me, I like to shake my butt at everybody. So I even do it to you when you're
Doing good time together.
when you're working out, I say, "I'm bumping for you." But it keeps the interaction going. And
Yeah.
so that's what I think that, if you have that style, that's why I always tell my male clients, I'm like, "Do you work out?" "You do."
Mhm.
"Okay, so why don't you invite your wife to go work out with you and tell her you wanna make it a date?" I'm like, "If you could turn anything into a fucking date nowadays." And
Yeah.
it's literally we like it because you thought of it ahead of time. You
Mhm.
planned it. You were like, "Oh, I wanna be with her. Great. I appreciate you." You know what I mean? So, I try telling my male clients and my female clients, because I have a lot of female clients that are like, "My husband's gained a lot of weight over the years, and he used to go to the gym all the time. He doesn't now." And I'm a big believer that I hear a lot of people say this, that when you get married, you don't have to do all that shit anymore, right? So I always hear women, they're like, "Oh, I don't get blowjobs because I'm married." And I'm
Mhm.
like, and your partner
Or
will
I
be
don't
the one
shave. Yeah.
to go find it because you
Yeah.
don't do it, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. Like if you're not taking care of yourself when you met your partner, you should still continue to keep doing those things because Not just for your partner, the health benefits for
For
yourself.
you. Yeah,
They're
100%. You're doing it
huge.
for you're not doing it for your man or your husband or your woman. You're doing it for you and your mental health because your mental health is connected to all of that. If you're depressed, you're not going to work out and you're not going to eat right. So you need to find out what the hell's going on,
Right.
whether it's going and seeing a professional counselor, and there's like just so many things that you could work on with that. Um, or just, you know, yeah, just I could
And
go on.
that's why I tell them all the time, I'm like, "You should have a conversation with your partner. Don't be afraid to open it up."
Yeah,
Instead, you're immediately cutting it off and is like, "Well, I'm
yeah,
just not sexually attracted." Okay,
yeah,
you've been with your partner a very long time. There was a reason why you were sexually attracted to your partner when you first started.
the beginning, yeah.
But we need to
Well, and
find
here's
out.
the thing too, they could be so depressed that they're going and talking to them trying to talk to their partner, and their partner's, like, shutting them down.
Yeah.
So, that's why if you're approaching it from a place of love and concern and, like, "What's going on with you?" "You're not who you used to be. I wanna see you happy again. I wanna see you confident. I wanna see" but like I
Uh,
said, pay attention to those warning signs too to make
well,
sure if they're
and
really struggling to get
just
help.
how you said it. This is coming from a place of love, and that's what I think you should say. This is coming from a place of love. I'm not judging you, but I wanna know what's going on. Something's off. Because I think if you just come straight to your partner and you're like, "You've gotten fat."
Yeah.
Like, "Why are you
Or
fat?"
just start going and cheating, which let's face it, a lot of men do.
Right.
Not that women don't either, but, most of the
Correct.
time when people cheat, it's a different thing. That's for a different podcast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, way different podcast because
Yeah.
that's
But,
a two-segment book right
guys
there.
will. They'll immediately start going and cheating and just being like, "This was easier than having that conversation," because they
And a lot
think
of times
they get
when but
upset.
also too, when men cheat, it's not because they're not attracted to their partner. They could have the sexiest woman in the world and they're attracted to her and they
They're
still
still
fuck her
cheating.
daily.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they cheat because of the chase. They cheat because it's easy. They cheat because it's pussy, right? It's just men. Men cheat for different reasons, just like women do. So I think the big thing is just being able to be open and have that conversation. And I also think if you are that person that is they're coming to you to saying it, to be open to listening and not immediately getting defensive and being
Yeah,
like, "You just think I'm fat," or "You just did it." I think a lot of times people get defensive right away instead of
yeah,
listening because somebody's trying to tell you something and it's not they're not trying to say it from a bad place, right?
yeah,
Like that guy on Love Is Blind. He probably wasn't trying to say it from a bad place. He was just trying to be honest, but he's probably a little dun dun, and so
yeah,
he doesn't know how to express it because realistically, nobody in this world is taught to communicate properly.
yeah,
We all are
yeah,
still learning.
and I've had 3 sons, and they were very big, and I have gone through some serious body imaging. I've gone up in weight and down in weight, because of those. But even so, you get I call it fat and happy, right? You getting in this relationship where my my husband retired Air Force, but became a chef, and he introduced me to all kinds of different food. So the first several years of our relationship and then into our marriage, it was just a lot of eating. And, I mean, I definitely gained some weight there. And he tried very hard to be sensitive about it, encouraged me to go to the gym and things like that with him. Um, Came from a place of love, but I still took offense to it. And he understood that and was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, I am not calling you fat. I love you. You are beautiful at any size." Like he was very encouraging. So I think that's important too. But it wasn't him, it was me. I was already in my head beating myself up. I do have body image issues. Even when I am at my lowest weight, I will look in a mirror and pinch my skin and think that there's something wrong with me. And I'm the therapist. I know I can talk myself out of it. I'm not self-sabotaging, but I've also dated several people that beat me down physically.
Yeah,
And so that stays with you forever. And so I think it's important that you build yourself up, you take care of yourself for you. You're not doing it for a guy. I didn't get back into shape and take care of my body because of my husband. I did it for me because I was like, "Yeah, there is something up. What the heck is wrong with me?" Yes, I am just going I've got a lot going on and I'm depressed because of this. And I dissected it and realized that I would feel a million times better if I just jump back into taking care of me. And, then I
yeah.
feel, but depression comes in waves. It takes its toll on you, even the thick. people, even the healthiest of people, the people who do have good body image, depression can hit them and they're going to go and eat a tub of ice cream and
Oh,
but
God.
it's the bouncing back from it, right? They're going to realize that I got through it. I had a day where I just kind of needed it to just it's a part of self-soothing and
Mhm.
healing yourself as well to have those moments and then pick yourself up, put your big girl panties on and get back to business in life, you know.
Well, and I think that's the problem too, is I think depression is the number one key.
Yeah.
That plays into a lot of body imaging.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not pretty enough for this, or like, I'll tell you, I judge somebody based off of their body.
Mhm.
100%. So, like men, right? With the dating apps and stuff. I'll see a very, very fit guy, six pack, big arms. I'm like, damn, he's sexy. My brain is like, he don't like big girls. And it's funny is I don't consider myself a big girl. I never have. I've always considered myself average, just with a fat ass and big old boobies, right? And a little white. Well, I've never considered myself fat, but
Yeah.
there are people out there that are like, "Oh, like you're a big girl," and I'm like, "Wait, what? I'm
Mhm.
not big." But at the same time, I'm like, "I got body dysmorphia. I don't think I'm big, but I probably am." Doctors would consider me overweight. I don't care what a doctor says.
Yeah.
But I do judge a guy like that because I'm like, there's no way this fucking good looking guy that works out all the time is gonna want a big girl. And I have met so many muscular men that are like, no, we love thick women. And I'm like, you don't want like the girl that looks just like you? That's got
Mhm.
like the fucking big ass muscles. And he's like, no. He goes, we want girls like you. And I'm like, oh, but
Yeah, and
I
it is
don't.
yeah. Yeah, you judged a guy just because probably because you've seen them act that way before. And so it's, automatic, like why can't I think of the damn word? Like you're automatically putting them into a specific
Category.
category.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You know what I
But
mean? Like, this is
there's
how
a
they are.
Yeah, and that's the same thing, like, if you ever look at couples, you'll always see, like, the really skinny guy with, like, the biggest girl.
Yeah.
He's like, "I love it," and I'm like, "Okay." And then you'll see, like, there's a wonderful couple on TikTok, Instagram, social media. He is very, very fit, and she is a plus size girl, and there is so many comments that people make on it, like, "Oh, that's just for right now," and there's so many times where she and him, they play off of it and use it for, like, content, because she's like she'll pop up one time in a mermaid outfit, and she was like, "That's my mermaid," and then she, like, puts her goggles on and takes off, and I fucking love it. But so
Yeah,
many people call them out for being completely opposite body
yeah,
style. How
which
could
is
they
so sad. That's a society thing because
Yeah.
God forbid there's this thin guy with this over,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, and I just think it's crazy, but I think it comes down to depression is the biggest thing on why some of us have body issues, and I think, we all go everybody's gonna go through it, everybody's gonna go through depression, it's gonna be different things from losing a job to losing a relationship, losing a child, losing a family member, right? So there's loss that happens, there's also not getting things the way that you expected it to go, right? So I think it's just different, but I think it's also pulling yourself out. And I tell a lot of people, I don't care if you are a person that loves to eat a tub of butter a day. Going to the gym is actually so beneficial for your mental health, your actual health, and your sexual health because you are doing so much more than just walking on a treadmill or lifting weights. You are doing so much more for your brain in the
Mhm,
long run, right? With the serotonin that you're releasing, the dopamine, you're doing a lot more. So even if you go to the gym, that's why I don't have a home gym because I
mhm.
know if I had a home gym, I will never do it.
Yeah,
It'll just sit there and stare at me and collect dust, right?
yeah,
But if I go somewhere, it forces me to go somewhere and do a quick hour workout. Like I see some people are in there for like 4 or 5 hours. That's awesome. That's your lifestyle. Me, 45 minutes. I do 5 workouts. I'm out
yeah,
and I don't touch the treadmill.
yeah.
I don't like cardio. So if any killers come out, I'm not going to be able to outrun them. That's because I got pew pews.
She's just gonna turn around and shoot you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna run from you. But I think body imaging kinda starts with us,
Yeah.
and we need to, I would say, as I'm a girl's girl, 100% through and through. I will always back a female, 100%, especially when it's something stupid. But to watch the younger generation kind of have the same body issues, I think is such a big thing. And like, I'm always telling my son, like, "You're handsome, you're smart, like, if they don't wanna be your friends, fuck 'em," you know, because I want him to understand, like, there's nothing wrong with you as a kid. You
Yeah.
are as perfect as you are meant to be made, and
Mhm.
you're gonna be you, you know? Just like I always have to keep telling myself, "Yes, I might feel pudgy," like, I put a bathing suit on for the first time last night and was like, this hibernation body need to get back into the gym because 'cause I've been out of the gym for 3 weeks. I had my
Yeah.
back tattooed and got infected, and so I wasn't able to work out because of the pain. So now my back is healed, so I'm like, "Okay, I need to start back at the gym." So now I gotta get that back into the motion again of putting it back in the schedule, and yeah, maybe Monday. I like to start things on Mondays. I can't do, like, midweek start shit. It has to be a
Yeah.
Monday.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna fuck off the rest of the weekend with eating, and then Monday, Imma go back.
Yeah.
But I also think it's good to have friends that will, tell you, like, how, amazing you are and beautiful, and I really do think that helps, because I remember there's times where I've called you, and I've called and I've cried, and I'm like, "I don't know why he don't like me." And you're like, "Fuck him."
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's really important to surround yourself with people who are not competitive with you either, either
Mhm.
with your job or your looks. If you're hanging around somebody who's tearing you down, you need to let
Oh,
them
yeah.
go.
Yeah,
Uh,
100%. And if a
got
person's gonna well, and a person that's gonna tear you down about your looks is a person that'll tear you down with everything in your life.
yeah,
If you can judge me off my looks, then why are we even friends?
yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
That's why half the time I just show up in sweatpants, look like I'm homeless.
Well, and I feel like, women can be just as damaging to other women too, especially as children. There's a lot of bullying going on, that middle school age through high school, sitting there making fun of other women and not being a girl's girl and building themselves, helping build other females up. Instead, they're tearing them down, especially if there's a boy involved.
Yeah.
Um, and bullying it can be really hard, and then that is taking them into adulthood. Mm.
Well,
I
yeah, because
definitely
it's
had my
really
fair
young.
share of bullying as
Mhm.
a young, probably started about 13, and of course, it was something to have to do with a guy. A guy was talking to me, and an ex-girl who I didn't even know just got involved and totally tore me down and made me feel like I was disgusting, and then he broke up with me because then everybody else was like, you know "What are you doing? She's not cute, blah, blah, blah." So, and then, there were other relationships after that that built me up, but definitely any time that there was something in that similar scenario, it definitely pulled me down. So,
Yeah. Well, and
yeah.
that's why I think there's a thing between men and women when it comes to hypersexuality. And I think hypersexuality has a lot to do with body imaging because you feel that if somebody's giving you that attention sexually, that it's because they like you or they like how you look. And so I think a lot of that has to play in with hypersexuality on men and women because they think that that's the only way that they can get a connection.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. And then especially when you're dating, right? And I notice it more so with older, mid 30s and up. They immediately are like, this is how I know that I'm going to feel that
Uh-huh.
he's attracted to me. So I'm immediately going to jump into bed. And then he rejects. And then she self loathes. And then that whole body image thing comes into play. So I think it's really important that women specifically, men too, but more so women, we can be torn down with our bodies so easy and then we believe it. And then we start to see it in the mirror and look
Yeah.
for all the imperfections. So, what would it look like to actually stare at yourself in the mirror and talk about how beautiful you are? You know, I once
And I've
saw this
seen
clip
people
and
do
it
that.
was like these two women. talking to each other and wrote down on a list the shitty things that they say about themselves,
Mhm.
and then they read it to their friend, and they were both just crying because could you imagine saying that to one of your really good friends, the way that you talk to yourself and your body and the
Right.
way you look, and then saying that to one of your friends? You would never do that. One of the
No,
people that you love the most.
no, we
Self
talk harsh.
love is a lot
Yeah,
for
we talk to ourselves worse than anybody else talks to themselves.
oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's why I try to always you know, when people try to make comments, I'm like, "Man, you ain't got nothing," because I say worse shit to myself than you're saying right now. You know, so that's yeah, I try not to let people, like, you know, because even with, like, me being on social media, right,
Mhm.
with making the videos and the content and stuff, I've had people that are like, "You're fat." "Ooh, that's all you got?" At the end of the day, I look at those people and I always have 3 things I live by. If you're not fucking me, you're not financing me, and you're not feeding me, you
Mhm.
ain't got no fucking feelings on what I'm doing with my life.
The triple X. Yeah, it's
And
true. I'm not big on social media the way that you are for sure. So, like, when I look at people who are influencers and then I'm seeing people tearing them down, I'm like, "Damn, people are so brave behind a
behind a screen.
computer."
Mhm. Yeah.
Yes, I'm like, "You guys are evil," and it can drive people to killing themselves or
Yeah,
just
there's been
sabotaging themselves completely, obviously, but, I mean, it definitely
and it's one of those things, like, when you start getting into, like, social media, you have to push that off.
yeah.
You know, I'm sure there's people that watch our podcast and are like, "Oh, well, what do these 2 fucking old hags know about anything?" First of
Yeah.
all, we are both 33.
What the fuck are you talking about? I'm 29. I'm 29 with a 25-year-old, okay? I had him when I was 4.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people are gonna break us down too, and it's one of those things where we have to I think we have to outpower it, but also know too that we have each other's backs, you know,
Yeah.
because like, things that those kids would have said, if I was in your school, I would have beat the shit out of every single one of those kids because I think you're a beautiful woman. I think you're pretty. You got great booty.
Tippity tap that booty.
Tippity tap 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 that booty. But I think a lot of it is I think we have to find a group of people that are gonna have us surrounded
Yeah,
and
life around
take
it.
care of us as well. You know, when you see your friends down because of some bullshit, you know, or you can tell. Like I know you and I can tell when we're off
Yeah.
because we talk to each other and we're like, "Okay, what's wrong?" I'm like, "Nothing."
Say, "Why are you being colicky?"
I'm like, "I'm not. I'm a Smurf today." Well, fuck
Yeah, and I think
somebody
it's
else.
important, you do have to have a village to just kinda
Mhm.
build, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And, like, I have another friend, she always apologizes to me. Like, she'll call me and she's like, "I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to say it." And I'm like, "No, that's what a friendship is for you to call me and say whatever the fuck you're feeling, even if it's to vent.
Yeah.
Just vent, and that's what friendship is for, is you can be able to talk about the good times, the bad times, the sad times, show up for each other, you know,
Yeah.
that's what a friendship is. That's why I think my circle of friends is so small.
Mhm.
I
Same.
only have really like 3 of my top friends, that's it.
Mhm.
Everybody else I consider acquaintances or like really good friends, but nothing where I would call like if something were to happen, you know, you guys are like the first people I call.
Yeah.
And you guys are strategically planned. So I know who I'm calling for what.
Well,
You know?
and I know Tiff so well that she will not talk about things with me, and I'm like, "You need to talk to me."
I don't talk to
Because
any
and she'll be like, "Oh, well, it's just because I'm trying to, like, deal with it myself." I'm like, "No, no, no. From now on, you need to pick up the damn phone and tell me what's going on." Well, blah, blah. Even with boys
Uh-huh.
that's dating, she'll be like, "Well, I didn't know how far it was gonna." I don't give a shit. I'm your best friend. I wanna know who you're talking to. I wanna sit on FaceTime with you and do a shared screen and pick guys with you.
We did that the other day, guys.
Did.
We went through my dating pool and saw who had liked me, and we were swiping yes or swiping fuck no.
Yes, because I'm trying to help her stay away from her past red flags. So, anyways, you need to have even just a couple of really good friends that you pick up the phone and say, "This is what's going on," because obviously, especially me being married, my best friend as well is my husband. But there's certain things that, him and I can vent to him and tell him what an ass he's being and he's driving me nuts. But there's certain things that I'm like, I just need to vent about him. So I'm going to call Tiff and just be
Yeah.
like, oh,
And then I'm
you know,
like, "Do I need to come up there? I'll fuck him up."
exactly. So if you
Even
do,
though
you
he tells me he's not
outlet
scared.
to build you up and to remind you how beautiful you are inside and out. Tiff likes to say, I'm fat, I'm fat. And I'm like, girl, if I hear you say that one more time, I'm going to hurt you.
I'm
I'm like,
thicker
you
than
just
a
got that luscious booty.
thicker than a Snicker. Hopefully you like little Snickers. Like an Almond Joy, I got mounds.
She's got mounds in all the right places.
But you know what I liked? I think having those friends to help you with that, like,
Yeah.
think of the spa trip we did.
Yeah.
So we went on a spa with 2 of our other friends here in Vegas, and it was all 4 of us women, and we just went to
So great.
a spa, and it was
Yeah.
a great day, but how many times were we all talking shit to each other and was just, like, complimenting each other and, "God, you look good," I can tell you've been working out," or, "Hey, you look pretty like this," or
Hmm.
it was a help to be able to be around women that feel the exact same way as you, that can
Yeah.
help you with, like, stepping out and knowing that you feel sexy. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
So I
Exactly.
definitely think you need to make sure that you're, you know, going to the gym to help with the mental health. It's going to help release a lot of those negative thoughts that you have and toxins. But I also think having friends and being able to bounce those things off of friends, like, well, this guy said this,
Hmm.
because sometimes like you want to tell yourself, like, ah, that guy's full of shit. But if you talk to your friend, she's 100% going to tell you that guy's full of shit. Right.
Yeah.
Same thing with men. They should have a group of men to talk to too and being able to be open with their friends and talk about it.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
and if they don't, that's sad because they should have an open line of communication with your friends. Your friends are your friends no matter what, and they'll always have your back.
Yeah.
But having that open with your actual girlfriends too is what kind of helps you get through some of the depression so that you don't have such bad body imaging.
Yeah.
Because we're all going to go through it. Men, women, it doesn't matter what your sexual orientation is. All of us are going to feel the exact same way.
Yeah. 100%. And get help mentally if you feel like
Yes.
you need it or you feel like your partner needs it. There's obviously a line that you want to look for, but there's just so many other ways to build your partner up or, building yourself up, being around people that help build you up.
And one thing I'll tell women and men to do, record yourself masturbating. I know it's the weirdest thing, okay? I'm gonna tell you, but there is a statistic out there that's showing you watching your own self can turn your own self off on than watching somebody else.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's a good thing to watch yourself do it because then you can see what you look like. Because remember, how many times do we get in those positions with a partner and you're like, are they looking at my butthole? Look at my nipples, right? You're like doing something funky. Whereas I tell clients, take sexy pictures of yourself. Don't be afraid to take those pictures of your bathing suit or you in your lingerie and send it to your partner, right? You can crop your head off if you're that secure about it. But you see what I'm saying? Like doing those things, it will help boost your own self-esteem to yourself.
Yeah.
Compared to trying to get it hypersexual with someone else. Now you're doing it to yourself, you're seeing your own self.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything else you wanna add to our body imaging?
No, I don't think so. I think that,
Okay.
of course, we always encourage you guys to talk about, leave us anything that you want us to
Mhm.
you comment back on. I know some people have posted on our videos or on our Instagram pages or Facebook pages, and if I see it, I definitely try to respond, and Tiff can respond too, because we can just message you directly there as well. Um, I had somebody ask me like how long it took me to like heal before dating again because this person specifically like shut herself down and like didn't want to date at all after that, after a really bad breakup. And it's important that you don't do that, and I told her that like it took me about 6 years to finally get over what I had gone through. Lots of mental health, um, you know, self healing,
Yep.
self-care, but then also going and seeing a professional about it. But I didn't stop dating. I
Mhm.
probably shouldn't have dated. I should have given myself at least a solid year, but I didn't, because I feel like, well, since we're talking about body image, I was already in a bad space. And then anything anybody did to me was just kind of adding to it instead of like really letting myself heal. So,
Yeah.
well, I did let her know that. But, anyways, Tiff and I, we want to know about, what you guys are
Yeah.
going through too and anything
Oh,
that
yeah.
we say.
Yeah,
But
we'll answer questions and social media is where we'll answer the questions the most. But yeah, no, I'm excited. We're having a good thing. We're getting good reviews on people liking our podcast and having fun with it. And we hope you guys do too. If not, we don't really give a shit because we're gonna do it anyways. But I'm just
we
saying.
are. We are.
All right, guys. Well, we will see you next week. If there's any topics that you want us to talk about, gotta send it our way, or else we're not gonna talk about it. We probably will privately, but probably not.
All right. Bye,
Bye.
y'all.